21st century superhuman. And I know that the answers are inside. Yeah, I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see you when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, yeah, we are one. And we can make a difference, yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more fun.
Hi there, I'm Carrie Ellis, author of 21st Century Superhuman. This is our 21st Century Superhuman show. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting subject, family constellations, with Amanda Gifford, my wonderful friend from South Africa. Hi Amanda, how are you today?
Hi Carrie, I'm good. Excited to be with you.
Wow, I'm just getting chills as you talk, you know. It's so amazing and wonderful how we've been able to connect as this rainbow tribe around the world of people who are committed to the light and goodness for humanity. And I know I was gifted the incredible opportunity when I was traveling and teaching plasma energy workshops a couple of years ago to come to South Africa. And your group over there actually made that possible. You and your partner Willem kind of met me when I got there, and you had been making GANs and you helped to get everything going. And I think of you as just a wonderful, magical world traveler. I know you guys do dance and sound and breathing and all kinds of fun things that you make adventures to Bali. And so tell us a little bit about your adventurous life. I think we are so, again, just so, it just touches my soul that we have this ability to communicate with each other and to share with others what this journey is like for us, what we're learning along the way, and what can help make all of our lives better. So tell us a little bit about how you ended up in this magical life that you're living.
Okay, so do you want to know about constellations, or you want to know just the life that I'm living?
Well, just give us a little short snippet on your
background,
life, because I think that gives us the magic of who you are, and then tell us what constellations are.
So I'm living in Johannesburg at the moment on a beautiful property called Windrush Studio, which has a bit of a legend. It's a bit of a legend in itself. It's this beautiful, large property that where we facilitate a lot of our workshops. And we're doing a mix of things. So family constellations, plasma workshops, cacao, you know, chocolate, cacao ceremonies.
And does cacao grow there as well?
In South Africa?
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I think in other places in Africa, but I'm not sure.
Right.
The last time I actually found live cacao was in Bali, and that was very exciting.
Right. And I find it in South America, Central America, South America. So yeah.
Yeah. So, and we do plant journeys here as well. We do all sorts of sort of alternative healing things. So it's quite an eclectic community and a wonderful group of family constellations people that come.
So tell us what family constellations are. I'm sure people are just wondering. There was a time when I wondered, and then I found out, and I thought, wow, this is amazing personal work to immerse oneself in.
So it's an interesting field. There was a man called Bert Hellinger who really was the founder of Family Constellations. And he came from Germany in the 50s to South Africa as a missionary, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and he thought, okay, he's coming, you know, to South Africa, and he's going to bring religion and all of this. And what happened was he ended up in a group of African traditional healers and gave up religion completely and studied for 15 years African traditional wisdom and healing.
Oh, I'm getting chills.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm in the home, really, you know, back in my in the home.
I had no idea. So it really started in South Africa.
Right. So it's actually African traditional wisdom. It's African wisdom.
Here we are in the Yucatan of Mexico, and people are doing constellations here. And I had no
Yeah.
idea. And I know it's being done all over the world. I had no idea it started in South Africa. How exciting. That is
Yeah, with the Zulus.
wow.
Amazing. So, and then he took it back to Europe and mixed it with some of the European methodologies, and it's become very eclectic. So you find as many different styles of family constellations as there are practitioners. You know, that's just everyone makes it into their own.
Beautiful. Well, how about if we take a look quickly at a few slides from your workshops and your groups, and that'll give people a little feel for it, and then you can tell us more about it and how it works and how it might help someone.
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, one part of the methodology, it's this idea of working systemically with your healing. So if you want to work with where you're at, you need to look at the genetics that you've come in with and the system in which that operates. So for example, a lot of the Zulus would say, you know, the sins of the father was passed forward. And unless you are working consciously with what you may have unconsciously inherited, you're just going to take that baggage on, and you're going to repeat the genetics, or you're going to repeat the karma or the destiny. So that idea of working through the generations, you know, you can actually do work with family constellations generationally.
Nice.
So you can also actually do work back in time, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But you can work back in time with some of the ancestors.
Nice.
May have suffered generational wounds or trauma, and you can release that in the field, and then you get the benefit of that genetically.
Wonderful. I'm getting, and we did talk about that you live in Johannesburg and you have this center there that's beautiful, but you also work internationally, correct? I think
I've got lots of long distance clients. So I work with people all over the world.
Great. I think that's a really important point. And this does have a very tribal look to it. Beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
And let's just read this quote by someone who worked with you. I have been working with Amanda for almost a year, and it has been a beautiful journey of unfolding, unraveling parts of me that were stuck, lost, and not looked at.
Yeah, that's my client, one of my Indian clients. So she's based in Mumbai.
Nice. So this one says, Amanda is a truly generous therapist, knowledgeable, professional, wise, playful, but deep. Will lead you all the way to your truth, your healing. If things get stuck, she'll always find a way to open another door. This is how amazing she is. Look at
so sweet.
Yeah, look at these beautiful people that you're working with. Everybody looks very serious.
Very serious.
It's deep. You're dealing with your deep self, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, some of the time people are working with their pain in order to shift, you know, what's stuck in the field. So it could be unconscious dynamics that are keeping you from moving forward. It could have been the loss, like for example, of a parent, and you may not have ever gotten over that loss. So it's helping people to surface what's keeping them stuck and helping them to resolve that baggage or unfinished business so that they can move forward. Because
boy, aren't we hungry for that?
Yeah. And, you know, there's so much happening on the planet. I mean, this planet is moving forward at such a rate.
Yes.
And sometimes there's stuff that people are unconscious of that's keeping them stuck in the past.
Right.
And Constellations is an incredible way to surface the unconscious dynamics and look at them and start to bring resolution so that you can flow into this, you know, 21st century superhuman self.
Yes. So tell us about this.
That one was a rebirth constellation. somebody was looking at sort of coming back into the womb and rebirthing themselves into a new kind of code or sense of self.
Wow.
And that was the completion image with a lot of love. A lot of people suffer trauma from, not feeling wanted, say, for example.
Right.
And, the benefit of this is that you can totally recode what's in your cells, your whole alignment.
How exciting.
So that was, yeah.
How about this? Are you seeing this one?
Yes, I see that one. That was a woman who was just about to give birth. And she was working through the trauma of her previous birth, where the baby had come early and it wasn't an easy birth. And she was wanting to work through some of that trauma in order to create a much easier passage for her next child.
Beautiful.
And you can actually communicate with the soul of the baby and have a conversation with it, and through the representatives who are the other people that come in.
And how did her birth go?
It's just been recent, so I haven't actually checked in with her yet.
Nice. And the quotes are from people not necessarily going with the exact picture, but just to share these thoughts that people have about their work with you. My constellation experience with Amanda was truly amazing. Being in a supportive role allowed me to hold space for another person's constellation and to connect with that person's story and to see how that plays out in my own life. My own constellation was a beautiful and profound experience. To see my story from the outside allowed me to step away from it and to have a look at it from a different angle, to see it with new light. And it seems that with the constellations, we are able to see the light in our story and not just the shadows and darkness. Definitely for everyone.
Yeah, lovely. That was a young girl who had lost her mom when she was young, and she was so overweight through grief. And what we did was we constellated contact with her mum. And basically what happens is that the ancestral, presence of her mother comes through, and she can have a direct conversation, which helps immensely. I mean, the amount of forward movement that it gives people is just unbelievable.
Gorgeous.
So a lot of the grieving is released and complete.
Gorgeous. And here's a nice quote. I have done many family constellations and constellations with Amanda, and I love doing them as she has such a creative style and energy. The effect of her facilitation is profound, and I have observed people experiencing huge shifts with her. She has helped me to achieve goals in a very short time that I did not think were possible. She is a true and gifted healer. Very kind.
Nice.
Yes. Look at this. So how do you do this at a distance with people when you want to get them together in a group like this?
So Constellations is based on the fact that, we live in this ocean of consciousness that is all around us and accessible all the time. So, if we look at what they call, in family constellations, they call it the knowing field, which is basically, the sea of consciousness that we have access to all the time. And as we know from quantum physics, there's one of the aspects of the quantum world is non-locality, which means that, we can access information at a distance in the same way as, say, a remote viewer would.
Oh, beautiful.
So you can do the same thing with a constellation. So the person would arrive and choose representatives for the aspects or the people or the things that they would like to be in touch with and work with. And that field is already available. And once you start focusing on it, the individuals that are representing either the person or the thing, they receive information like a channel, and it just comes straight through.
And so if someone was at a distance being part of one of your constellations, would you just add them into a group that you have locally?
Yeah, so I'd take a story from them. You don't have to do that. You can just constellate them in a group, or, you know, I could do it on my own as well. So what you do is choose people in the group to represent the different things that they're wanting to tap into, and that information is available. That morphogenetic field, as Rupert Sheldrake calls it,
Right.
It's a coded field of information which is available everywhere, and we can access it just through focusing on it, and through presence. That information becomes available in the room, and then I can report that back, and we can make movement for that person.
Beautiful. There's the field, the DNA.
That's it. Being reorganized.
Yes, wonderful. Lovely.
That was a very special constellation. There was no rain in Cape Town for a long time, and it became quite a bit of a, you know, global, like a national emergency.
I remember that.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people doing work around what is it that's going to shift this situation, and we did a rain, that was a rain constellation, and it was the most exquisite. What came out was absolutely profound. It was all about the healing of the feminine and moving the patriarchal, controlling masculine bodies out of the way, and getting indigenous cultures to come back into their rightful place.
Gorgeous.
It was very beautiful.
Getting chills. Lovely. So part of your mission on Earth is, if you choose to accept, is to master your thoughts, your vibration, your frequency, so that you can move through all of life with ease. It's beautiful. So I know you have this comprehension. I mean, you even talk about connecting with off-planet beings or off-planet existences, maybe other lifetimes. Go ahead and give us some of the story of constellations and how they work, family constellation work.
Okay. So I give people a bit of a general introduction that I've given a little bit of now. So this idea of, you know, each person comes into the room, and if you were working, say, for example, you choose people as representatives for the theme that you're looking at. And that person, you would place those people in the room in a way that felt that it kind of represented your inner system or your story. And then the people would spend time just tuning into what it is that they're picking up from this field, this knowing field, or this morphogenetic field like Rupert Sheldrake speaks about. And this field is this coded field of consciousness that is available for us. So they start to get images, impressions, words, sensations, and then they just report it basically back to the person. And very quickly information starts coming through for them. And we work with that. So depending on what the themes are, we would either it might be something that needs to be adjusted or shifted or work towards the future. You know, they talk about, with family constellations, they talk about entanglements in a field. And that can look like, for example, if a person's mother dies, that person might end up taking the place of the mother and kind of being a wife to the father, instead of just going ahead and living life in the place that they need to be as a child. So those kind of entanglements can block like the order or the flow of love in a family. And the system doesn't move. It's actually unhealthy. So there's many different things that we do. What we do, we work with, you know, there's disease constellations, for example. If somebody's not well, then we would choose someone in the room to represent the disease and let it speak. And then, you know, some of the wisdom behind that is that sometimes you'll find that that disease is actually the voice of a person that you either have not finished, it could have been maybe an abusive relationship or something that happened, and you can move that representative in and get them to rather have a direct experience with that person for completion. And then often it will bring a shift in the way that they are holding on to that relationship. And then the illness can have a chance to resolve itself. So I know, you know, Dr. Rodrigo.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, he also uses constellations a lot to work with.
I didn't know
like
that.
The core. Yeah.
Nice.
So if you're working with someone who's not well, you can look for the core. What is the core emotion underneath the disease? And then you can look for ways to begin to resolve that. Instead of being sick, what is the reason behind that?
Beautiful.
So I had a client, I'll just quickly tell you the story, also an international client with cancer. And we kind of looked underneath to what was the core issue that was being carried, and it was the need for nurturing. The disease was actually facilitating the need. And once she knew what that was, she could let go of being sick and actually just address the need for nurturing. And she's in full, you know, recovery now.
Beautiful. So. Beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah. What about the idea of past lives or some other travel to other dimensions? Or, I mean, we have so much going on just in the human community right now, besides our personal pain, which might be illness or might be family trauma that we're carrying. And once we release ourselves from those things, which it seems like that's really the core basis of this work, correct?
You know, a lot of my work is to help people to move forward. So,
nice.
You know, you can actually, this field, this, you know, alive, conscious field you can create a future experience, say, for example. So we know that there's infinite potentials that sit in the future. And if you want to create a future memory, or a kind of like a thumbprint or a fingerprint into the future, you can actually work with constellating that future, and then you begin to flow it into your reality. So I take people into the future. We go into space. We've looked at space, you know, star family constellations, which are pretty spectacular. Because if anything's available, it's all available. So what do you want to look at? You can code your genes to immortality. You start to it's a presencing practice.
Beautiful. Really. I love that, presencing practice. What a great phrase.
Whatever you're present with is what will flow your way.
Gorgeous.
There's actually another client who saw me over time, and she used constellations to tune into her child, the soul of her child, and she could have kind of contact with that child before it was here. And we had this long conversation through a constellation with this soul of this child about how he wanted to be born, you know, how it was a conscious birthing practice, you know, and he would say to his mom, look, it's not just you know, it's my birth too, and this is how we're going to do it.
Wow.
So that was beautiful. And I just recently did a constellation baptism for him, where we looked at his spiritual lineage, and we used constellations to bring in the energy lines of his, you know, his ancestors, but also the spiritual lines. And that was beautiful as well.
Nice. And so if somebody's trying to figure out what to do with their life, or where they're going, or how to become more successful at what they're doing, you can work on that with them as well?
Yeah, you can work on anything. So what I do is I generally work with a kind of coaching practice up front. That's a bit of a combination of that plus drama therapy and psychodrama. So I mix a lot of skills together and look at where they're wanting to go and then work backwards, or what's in the way, what's in the way of you getting to where you want to go. And if there's anything that's in the way, then you can use constellations to unravel, decode and recode something for yourself. So it could be, sometimes it's past lives, like you said. You often find people repeating patterns, or they're unaware that they've just kept repeating things. And how to move forward with that, with awareness, can help you break a pattern.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was, been interesting.
So how did you end up on this path?
So about 20 years ago, I was interested in studying drama therapy, and there was no drama therapy in South Africa.
Really?
So I wanted, a combination of embodiment and creativity and groups. And so I went to San Francisco and I did my master's in psychology there, studied drama therapy, and they had family constellations there. And it's a transpersonal institute, the California Institute of Integral Studies in San Francisco. And I was there for about 4 years. And then when I came back to South Africa, there were no other drama therapists. So there was no community. But what there was family constellations. And so I jumped into family constellations and did about 4 years of training through an institute called Family Constellations Africa. And they had brought people from overseas. So I trained in that, and I've been doing 15 years of Ramtha school. So a lot of my work, understanding of consciousness and this field, this malleable field that we can work in, comes from that.
That is fantastic. Well, Amanda, it was so delightful to speak with you. And again, it's just amazing that we can do this across the planet and just be here like we're in the same room together. I think your work, I know I'm actually connected with someone that you've worked with, and I know personally that you do really beautiful work. And
thank you.
Would encourage anyone. How would people get a hold of you? Is there we can put your links under this video. Is that the best way?
Sure. Yeah, my website is the best way for international people. So amandagifford.co.za. And I can put the links there. Otherwise, email amanda@geniuslab.co.za. That's another way to book appointments.
That's great. Could you say that slowly again, the email?
It's amanda@geniuslab, GENIUSLAB.co.za, or ZA, like they're saying.
Correct. Perfect. Very cool. Well, any last words of wisdom you'd like to give us? Can you help us leap into the next phase of ourselves? The little exercise.
A little exercise. Well, I guess it would be what do you want to become present with, and whatever it is, you can just sit in the availability of that knowledge. So you just become it. You become present with it, and eventually you will start to feel the information becoming available for you. So there's nothing actually that we can't do for ourselves.
Very lovely. Awesome. Remind everyone to breathe, smile, and love. By so doing, we change our neurobiology, and by changing ourselves, we change the world. So we'll see you soon on the 21st Century Superhuman path. Amanda, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Carrie.
And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Okay, much love. Ciao.
Lots of love. Bye.
answers are inside. Yeah, I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Come on everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see it when I look into your eyes. We are the same, and we are light, yeah, we are one. Here now, hear my ancient prayer and sing along. We are awakening as one. And we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more fun. But if you're feeling kinda down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are, oh, now, child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration, and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman, and I know that the answers are inside. I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Down and you need some inspiration to remember who you are. Whoa, now, child, please don't frown. You can choose a new vibration, and these words can take you far. I am a 21st century superhuman, and I know that the answers are inside. I am 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. I am a 21st century superhuman. I know that the answers are inside. I am a 21st century superhuman. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now